Good morning, boys and girls. All right, so for today's agenda, we are going to be focusing on the difference between perimeter area and volume. Now, we've already gone over how to solve for each of those, um, but today we're going to actually go through like situations where it doesn't specifically tell you what you're solving for. You have to figure out what you're solving for. So this goes along with the Virginia Standard of Learning Math 5.8. This is the second part of that, and it is differentiate among perimeter area and volume and identify whether the application of the concept of perimeter area and volume is appropriate for a given situation. Basically, what that means in its big math words is that I'm going to give you a situation and you're going to tell me whether or not you would use perimeter area and volume to solve for that or which one goes with that situation. All right, so here's a breakdown of what today is going to look like. We are going to do our numbers talk. We're going to go over some notes. We are going to watch a YouTube video. We're going to do some group practice together. Then I'm going to put you in groups for guided math, like always, and then we'll have our closure. All right, so for our number talks, if you don't remember how to do number talks, that's totally okay. But remember, we start with a fist on our chest, okay? Just keep it on your chest, closed fist. I'm going to ask you a question. If you have an answer to that question, you're going to give me a thumbs up. If you figure out more than one way to solve the problem, you're going to give me another finger for each way that you solve it. Okay? All right. So when talking about perimeter, we'll just go with a yes or no question for this one. The formula for perimeter is side plus side plus side plus side. So add up all the sides, okay? If you agree or disagree, put a finger up and then we'll go through it, okay? Okay, now let's do the other one where I say the formula for volume is length times width. Do we agree or disagree? We disagree, good. Okay, what should that go with? Volume, perfect. All right, so it's just a little numbers talks to get us kind of thinking about what we are and what we have been looking at. So let's do another question for our numbers talk. Who knows the difference, or what is the difference between perimeter area and volume? Not thinking about its formula, think about something else that makes those three concepts very different from each other. And if you think one way of how they're different, 2 ways, 3 ways, okay, think of all the ways that those three concepts, those 3 words are different. Okay, very good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go into some notes, and I am going to type them up, and you are going to copy them down. So let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. All right, so perimeter, as we know, in the basic way we can say it, is the outside of a shape, okay? So let's say examples. Give me some examples of what perimeter might be. Okay, so fence, walls, that's a good one. Okay, anything else? The border, okay, perfect. So perimeter is the outside. So if I was saying I need to know how much fence that I need to go around my yard, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about perimeter. Okay, all right, I think I misspelled a word. That's all right. Okay, let's go with area. Who can tell me? Hold on, sorry, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and let me give you the definition. Now, this is the space inside of a shape. So examples. Okay, examples of this would be the room, or not room, amount of yard my dog can run in. Or the carpet inside my bedroom. Okay? So, good thing I teach math and not English. All right, last one. We've got volume. All right, now volume. Volume is how much space or stuff fills up an object. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to know how much water fits into my water bottle, I'm talking about volume. If I'm talking about how much paint is in a paint can, that is volume, okay? How much water is inside of a pool, that is volume. How much dirt is in a bag, that is volume, okay? So let's put those examples in there for us. Water in a pool. How much dirt in a bag. Okay, now we already know how to solve all three of those. Okay, so if we go back up to perimeter, we go underneath, that is perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side, or in other words, add all of the sides. Okay, area we know is length times width. Okay? And then volume equals length times width times height. Okay? So there is that, and that is what we are going to be focusing on today. So for those of you who are still taking a few minutes to copy down the definitions and examples, I'll give you guys a few more minutes before we go ahead and head over to the YouTube video where he is going to explain in more detail how to determine the difference between perimeter area and volume. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and go over to the video. All right.
Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be looking at perimeter versus area versus volume. So I guess the easiest way to start thinking about it is if we start with something like a square. That's a terrible square, but if I draw these lines on the sides, it means all of the sides are meant to be the same length. So with perimeter and area, these are things which refer to two-dimensional shapes, and volume is something that applies in the 3 dimensions. So I guess first we'll start by just looking at perimeter, then area, and we'll move on to volume. So this square here, imagine that the sides of the square are 2 meters in length. So it's a square, so all the sides have to be the same length. 2 meters, 2 meters, and 2 meters. So if we want to work out the perimeter is just the length of the outside of the shape. So for our square, it's going to be just the distance around the outside, or the distance around what we call the perimeter. So to work that out, we want to work out the perimeter. It's going to be the distance around the outside of the shape. So it's a square. The first side is going to be 2 meters. The second side will be 2 meters. Third side will be 2 meters. And the last side will be 2 meters. So if we start here and go all the way around, we're going to have 2 meters times 4. We can just add them all together and get 8 meters.
Okay, so see how he said we're just doing the sides. So if, for example, this side here was the only one there, how would you know what these other sides were? Perfect. Yes. It's a square, so all the sides are the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get us to area. Moving it past it. There we go.
This square covers. So if this length is 2 meters and we divide it in half, then this length here will be 1 meter. We divide this side in half, that length will be 1 meter. With 1 meter, this is going to form a small 1 by 1 meter square. There'll be 4 of these. So one here, this is a 1 by 1 meter square. This is a 1 by 1 meter square, and this is a 1 by 1 meter square. So area is looking at the space that the shape covers. And we usually measure it in a squared unit, so meters squared. But if we want to work out the area, we can see that this 2 meter by 2 meters square covers 1 meter here, covers another meter here, another one here, and another one here. So it covers 4 meters squared. So the units here are the tricky thing. So when we go to work out...
Okay, so notice how he said that for area, we are focusing on, let me turn my camera back on the inside of this shape, okay? Area is that inside space. So if you're looking at your desks or your computer in front of you, it is all that inside space, okay? And let's get us down to volume. Okay, I think volume's like right here.
2 dimensions. Now we're going to look, the square on the left is in 2 dimensions, and that was for perimeter and area. If we look now at a cube, we can kind of demonstrate what volume is. So I'm drawing a cube here. It's good, but it's not perfect. So say we work with the same 2 meters. So it's got 2 meter sides. And because it's a cube, we know that all of the sides have to be the exact same length, because that's the definition of a cube. It's got 6 sides, all of the exact same length, and I use these little dashes to indicate that all of the sides are the same length. So when we're talking volume, we're talking about the amount that a shape can hold inside of it.
So exactly what he just said. It is the amount of space the shape can hold. So going back, my water bottle, how much can it hold or fill up? Okay. If we were looking at, for example, this right here, it's how much stuff I can get inside of it. Okay. So we would look at not only this top part here, but this part here, and then we would look at how thick the shape is. Okay, which we already know, but it is good to go back over it. All right, so let's go back to our agenda for today. So we watched our video, so now we're going to practice a little bit. Okay, so in front of you, you should have your whiteboards. Now I am going to give you a scenario, and you are going to tell me whether or not you think it is perimeter, area, or volume. Okay, so okay, I am deciding that I want to repaint my room, um, and I want to repaint one of the walls in my room. I need to know how much paint I need to get. Am I looking at perimeter, area, or volume, and why? Okay, yes, I am looking for area, okay, because my wall is a 2D shape, okay? And this 2D shape, I'm just trying to fill in everything that's inside of it, right? So I am looking for area. Very good job. All right, let's see. I am feeding the animals and I want to know how many bags of feed I can put in this big barrel. Yes, it is a volume. Very good job. All right. And then let's see. I am decorating my classroom wall and I've decided that I want to go with a new border for the wall. I want to make it let's go with what's everybody's favorite show? Okay, we're on a Stranger's Thing kick. Okay. So it's a Stranger's Thing kind of border. What of the three things am I going to use? Perimeter, area, or volume? Perimeter. Yes, very good job. All right, so looking like everybody knows what they are going to be using. All right, so let us go ahead and get into groups. Now remember, we're doing guided math, which means we have four groups. We have our teacher station, our independent station, our group station, and our technology station. Okay. And at the teacher stations, you guys are going to be working with me. We're going to go a little more in depth of these and also focus on solving the actual math problems. Okay. In the independent, you are going to be working on this worksheet right here. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this is area and perimeter word problems. I know there's no volume, but that's okay. We want to focus on area and perimeter today, and then tomorrow we'll go more into volume. So it says write a letter of the answer that matches the problem. The units are removed to just make it a little bit more difficult. So, for example, problem one said Hudson wants to write a letter to his friend. He took a square paper which covers a total area of 225 feet squared. What is the length of each side? So you're kind of like working backwards on this one. Okay. Our technology people, you're going to go into Education Galaxy. Everybody should know how to get there. And once you are in there, you are going to come on down and scroll until you get to perimeter, area, and volume. Make sure that you do that one. That's what we're focused on. You're going to hit start. It's going to pull you in, and you can. Oh, it logged me out for some reason. Let's go ahead and get logged back in. Once you're in, you're going to go ahead and you're going to just play a couple games, and that way you can practice. And then our group, you guys are going to be working with your whiteboards with each other, and you are going to be coming up with different scenarios and kind of like quizzing each other and seeing which one is which. So let me move this up here really quick. So, for example, let's say someone goes, "Oh, I've I've got this swimming pool and I want to know how much room on the surface that I have to swim. What are you solving?" And then someone else will be like, "Oh, I think it's area or I think it's volume." And then you kind of have to like discuss with each other what you think it is and why. And if you have a question, the co-teacher here is able to answer any questions for you. Once we are all done with that, we'll come together and we'll do our closure. That way we can make sure that everybody is good. Remember, the independent assignment needs to be turned in for a grade. Remember, it is solely based on participation, because know you guys know how to do this, but it is solely based on participation because, as we all know, our independence from today is always a participation grade to know that you're actually participating. Okay, remember, it is 15-minute groups, and we are going to start now. All right, welcome back. All right, so our groups were excellent. Everybody did a really good job. So let's go ahead and let's do our closure. So on your whiteboard, you are going to tell me the difference between perimeter, area, and volume. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and then we'll kind of pick a couple people to kind of give us our definitions. And then once I check to make sure everybody's understanding, then we can go ahead and go. Okay? All right, guys, that was awesome. You guys did really good today, and I hope if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message on Schoology, or if you have a question, you can write it down on a piece of paper, or you can save it after class to talk to me before you go over to your next class. If there are any questions, please let me know because I want to make sure that everybody is understanding and that they aren't confused about anything. Okay? All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.